One of the weirdest verses in the Bible that I think might be dealing with literal extraterrestrial hybridization and gifting humanity the light back to humanity is actually found in one of the most famous verses of all time in John 3:16.
All right, let's see it.
Check this out. Warning, once you get this, you can't go back. Like, you can't go back to the old way of reading this verse or other scriptures. Once you see how I do this, you're going to start doing it every single day, and it will literally change your life. But again, be warned, you have to deconstruct a whole lot and let go of a whole lot of things emotionally, with the way you were raised, with your belief system.
Think I'm gonna be all right.
So, here we go. John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believes in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. What I think this verse actually means is hidden within the Greek text. The word Jesus uses for God is Theos, which actually means supreme divinity, aka the supreme being or consciousness of the entire universe.
So that's absolutely not what the Greek word means. That's a doctrine of God. That is something developed philosophically. The lexeme itself just means God or deity.
Now, this is not unlike the word Elohim used in the Old Testament. However, Elohim is really used for the gods in a lot of ways, and the word Theos is really denoting divinity, either in general form or in the supreme divinity form.
Elohim can be the generic plural and refer to the gods, but more commonly it is used in the singular sense and is just a reference to a deity or a god.
Here's where it gets weird. He gave his only begotten son. Now, only begotten here does not just mean only like we've been told. It actually comes from the Greek word monogenes, which means one of a kind or unique.
This is accurate. Monogenes is thought to mean one of a kind, one and only, unique.
The word huion, which is son, actually means kinship.
So it does not mean kinship. Most commonly it just means son, but if you wanted a more complex definition of what's going on here, it would be a male person who is in a kinship relationship, either biologically or legally, and so son, offspring, descendant, something like that.
So we can reread the verse as, the supreme divinity so loved the cosmos that he gave unique kinship, that whoever believes in himself shall have perpetual life. And him comes from the word auton, meaning the self.
So a number of problems with this rendering. To begin, the word that we translate world in this passage is indeed cosmos, but that's just the Greek word for world. And in the usage of the authors of the Gospel of John, it is overwhelmingly intended to refer to the people who constitute the social world. So the world is a perfectly adequate translation. It does not mean what we use the word cosmos to mean today. Ton huion, ton monogeny is not an abstraction. It's a reference to a son, a definite, specific son. And the best translation here would be the unique son, one and only son, or even just only son. And then aftos is the pronoun that is used as the direct object of this verb to believe. That does not mean believe in oneself. That would be a reflexive verb where the direct object is the same as the subject of the verb, and in that case the pronoun would be heafton, not just afton in the accusative. So that's not an appropriate translation here. This is an attempt to try to use a kind of not incredibly well-informed lexical approach to the Greek to try to translate something that sounds a lot more new agey and a lot more spiritual than the statement actually is.